Hi, friends. Welcome, welcome. I am incredibly excited because today I'm going to be talking to you about the power of using Aisle Planner to grow your team and provide a cohesive client experience. If you were unable to attend Wedding MBA in 2021, this is the content that I spoke on and am really excited to share here inside the Mastermind portal so that women can continue to use this to grow their business for years to come. So let's dive in. Okay. Just to give a little brief background of why I'm equipped to talk to you guys about growing your team and your business. If you're not already aware, maybe this is the first video you're diving into inside the mastermind. Maybe you found the mastermind via Google. You just wanted to be in a group with other like-minded planners who are interested in growing their business. I did want to share a little bit of my background. I've been in the wedding industry for about 10 years. We've had over 750 happy couples served under the Chancy Charm brand, not by myself, most of those, more than most of those. We have over 200 publications, and we have the honor of serving luxury clients across the US and abroad. And I've also been able to help over 5,000 planners inside the Academy launch, grow their business with success. So incredibly, incredibly honored to do that. I feel like this job is like a pinch me. I can't believe this is what I get to do. I also run my team completely virtually, which is I feel like mind blowing, but also it's 2021. And I hope and pray that you have learned how to run your team virtually as well, other than obviously wedding day, because it's just a very needed skill in today's environment, is to be able to run your team virtually. A lot of people want to work from home. And I think as a wedding planner too, I actually had a studio at one point. The cost of having a studio is so expensive, and the return on the investment for me was very minimal. And so I'm a huge fan of allowing your team to work virtually to save that money. Obviously, I'm passionate about this, helping women grow a business that gives them freedom and flexibility. That's like all over the Wedding Planner Academy site. But what's really exciting is that today's content is really, really going to essentially help you achieve that freedom and flexibility. Because I think that it's really, really easy to really want freedom and flexibility with your wedding planner business, but actually achieving that is really a challenge. It's doable, but without a team, it's impossible because, everything lands on your shoulders. So really excited about just diving into this content today, because I'm going to share essentially why growing a team for your business is so key to that long-term success and that work-life balance. I know some people hate that phrase. I love that phrase because I love work and I love my family. And there is a balance. There is a tango that happens every day in my life and hopefully in yours to achieve the right balance. So today I hope and pray that you leave here feeling like you have actionable steps towards growing a team that gives you better work-life balance and a healthier business, and that also honestly helps others. So a little bit of background on my story. I feel like it's really surreal that I got to speak at Wedding MBA and stand on that stage, because just a couple of years before 2021, I was sitting in those seats thinking, man, it would be amazing to be a presenter. But if I'm honest, I didn't have a business at that point. And I didn't have a vision at that point for the content I'm speaking on today, because I think that team growth, if I'm honest, has been one of the hardest challenges in my story. So I started Chancy Charm in Denver, Colorado in 2011. Actually, it was on my day off with my husband. And as cliche as this sounds, we were sitting in a park in Denver, Colorado, and we had the idea of Chancy Charm, kind of had the dream of Chancy Charm. And the original dream and vision was just to help women in what can be a very stressful season of their life, being engaged, because they already have a job, they already have a full social calendar, and then now they're handed this giant to-do list. So being able to come alongside them and help them navigate the wedding planning journey stress-free. That was the heart behind Chancy Charm. That is the heart behind Chancy Charm. We're very service-oriented business. I feel like I'm incredibly grateful for my team I have and how proud of them, because they serve and love their clients. Like, they will go above and beyond for their clients. And we also love working with vendors who have that same heart. We're going to lay it all on the ground when we go to a wedding to make that bride's dreams come true. So that is the original dream and heart behind Chancy Charm. I convinced my friend who was getting married to let me do her wedding, and we were off to the races, except for we weren't. And I actually had a really hard time in the beginning marketing Chancy Charm, figuring out how to do this. And I joke, I'm not going to dive into marketing stuff, but I joke very often that Chancy Charm is successful because of God and Google. And the reason why I share that is because I actually teach aside my wedding planner mastermind all about something called the sweet spot, where you're getting word of mouth referrals and online referrals for your business. And that's kind of the mature business standard that I have, having launched so many different locations. However, that took about 2 years for Chancy Charm to really get rolling, because I was in Denver, but moving back to Atlanta. So I brought on a team member in Atlanta, trying to get momentum rolling there. So basically, almost from within the first 6 months of having Chancy Charm, I had multiple locations. I had another team member. I felt very, very frustrated because I was stuck kind of doing the business back end work, and this planner was able to work with the clients because I wasn't in Atlanta yet, and I didn't want to take on more clients in Denver. So I felt like it was the worst thing that had happened to me, but it was actually the best thing that happened to me, because I built the brand that you see today in that time. And once I got back to Atlanta, I was able to kind of hit the ground running and pretty quickly get some really solid momentum. And it was just, it's an incredible journey as I reflect on it now, because it really is what set us up for the business I have today, even though I hated it when I was in it. So from there, I launched Chancy Charm Charleston. It was almost an instant success in about 3 months. So because I had kind of created like a system with launching Atlanta, I felt like I kind of had like the secret sauce for how to launch a successful wedding planning business. I wanted to give other women that opportunity. And so I found an incredible planner in Charleston. We launched Chancy Charm Charleston. And as I said, within 3 months, it was getting leads, gaining momentum. I actually had a super prestigious, amazing planner in Charleston call me, and she was like, please don't take this the wrong way, but who are you? And how are you getting these leads? Like, y'all, it was crazy. And so unfortunately, I was like, man, I really am God's gift to wedding planner marketing. So I started launching more and more locations, and I ended up launching about 15 locations. But as you can see today, we only have 13. And that's because, to be totally transparent with you, there were wins, there were losses. It took 3 months for Charleston, 6 months for the next location, a year for the next one. Like, things didn't work out in some locations. Like, it was all over the place. And I learned really quickly that marketing your wedding planner business is very different in every location with every planner that you have. So it's just a crazy journey. And I remember in like 2018, probably, talking to my publicist, and I said, I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to survive the incredibly unprepared decision I made to launch so many locations. So just to give you a little bit of background, like, y'all, I have been where you are, wherever you are in this journey of launching or growing your business. I've been there. I have been in debt. I have been a 6-figure business. I've done all those different things. And so I'm coming to you today with the steps I wish I had had when I started growing my business and growing my team. And so I just hope and pray that it's a blessing to you, and that through that transparency, you can learn, not learn the hard way, and move forward and build a beautiful business. I love my business now, y'all. I love it. It gives me so much life and freedom and flexibility to do what I love. But the journey I made to get here was not pretty. Growing a team was one of my biggest challenges. I was not a good leader when I started Chancy Charm. And so to be able to stand here today, I just want to do it in total humility, that I at this point feel pretty good about my business, but it's been a constant learning journey, and I have done things the wrong way. I have had to touch the fire to know it's hot. And so I'm just coming to you in humility saying, I hope and pray that some of these things work for you, that they help you grow your business and be successful. But know that I don't have it all together. Even today, I don't have it all together. And any questions you have at the end are more than welcome, because there's no dumb question, because I am so here for this content and to just truly help you and be honest with you so that you can move forward instead of learning things the hard way. So let's dive into today's content. Early on in my career as a wedding planner, I started noticing this horrible pattern in the industry of burnout, and it destroyed people's mental health, emotional health. It's destroyed families. And I was heartbroken by that, super heartbroken by that. And so today's content, actually, I hope and pray that it helps you escape that cycle. So early on in my business, I realized that I couldn't personally serve all the inquiries I was getting. So once we reached that sweet spot, once things started rolling in Atlanta, which is where I was located most of Chancy Charm's existence, I realized really quickly that I was the bottleneck to growing my business. So I started growing my team. And I think that the lie we tell ourselves so often when we start thinking about growing our team is that we can't do it, we can't let go, we can't be a good leader, and we don't deserve to have a Saturday off with a team executing a beautiful wedding for our clients. But that's such a lie, because you can let go, you can be a great leader, and you do deserve a Saturday off with the beautiful business you've built. So in light of the current wedding boom, I'm assuming that everyone in this room is getting more leads than they can serve. And I would love to know what you're going to do with this increased lead stream. I want to challenge you today to have a greater vision for your business, your team, your work-life balance with the right team and processes and tools in hand. Personally, at Chancy Charm, I have brought on a few new planners, but I've also greatly increased our minimum budget. And we are hitting those clients that I just dreamed of 10 years ago. So I just really want to challenge you, like, what are you going to do with this increased lead stream as we experience such a wedding boom? I mean, 2022 is already filling up. I saw Irene post about that just the other day. It is filling up. What are you going to do? I really, really want to challenge you to start thinking about building a team. When you have a team, you're building a sustainable business. Like I said, you're going to escape the burnout. You're going to escape the grind. You're going to give yourself freedom back. I think people feel like, if I build a big team, then I have so much responsibility, I'm going to be more stressed out. I'm going to talk to you today and talk you through the reason why that's not true. I'm going to help you find rest, even in a crazy industry that honestly is full of hustle, because we love it, right? We love the hustle of wedding day, but I want you to have peace in your home. I want to see you grow a wedding business that helps you, sorry guys, build a sustainable business that's life-giving. And I want to help you create a vendor support team. So what is a vendor support team? A vendor support team is basically a group of creatives that are going to be behind the scenes in your business, helping you run your business every week, day in, day out. You're going to contract them out. They're not employees, but they're going to give you so much of your time and sanity back. They're going to allow you to do what only you can do. I feel like as a business owner and a wedding planner, y'all, I bootstrapped Chancy Charm. Like, I did all the things. In fact, I designed our logo, our website, all the things. Now, I did not design the logo you see today. I did not design the website you see today, but I did do all the things in the beginning. And I started heading towards burnout. I literally had a conversation with my husband at one point, and he was like, I just don't feel like we connect anymore. Like, you are so sucked into all of this. And honestly, I wasn't doing what only I can do. I wasn't even doing what I love. I was trying to force myself to do all the things that have to be done behind the scenes in a business. And I was losing my sanity. I was losing my marriage. I was losing time with family. So I started thinking about things differently. In fact, my husband really challenged me, like, what can only you do? That's what you need to do. And then to take it a step further, when I had my first son, I realized I wanted to not only do only what I can do, but only what I love to do. And that was a huge growing point for me, is handing the rest off. So the first thing I want you to be able to walk out of here with today is the roadmap for you to a vendor support team. So I want you to get out a piece of paper or your phone, whatever. And I want you to look at the items on the screen, look at these roles that are very easily handed off in your wedding planner business. And I want you to think about when you're going to hand these off. I want you to make some goals on, I'm going to hand off bookkeeping by the end of this month. I'm going to start working with a publicist by the end of the year. By next spring, I want to have a social media director. And by next year, I want to have a team mentor that's helping me with onboarding new members. These are the kind of goals I want you to set. I'm going to talk real quick through these roles and how they've impacted my life. I think what's so crazy, what people forget, I think it's really hard to escape this scarcity mindset in our industry. I think that, I hate that word scarcity. I always want to operate out of an abundance mindset. There's plenty of leads for everyone. There is plenty of work for everyone. Let's all go together and work together and cheer each other on. Abundance, abundance, abundance. That is how I want to operate. That is the mindset I want to operate out of. And let me just tell you, that was not always easy for me. My first planner, when we parted ways, I laid on the floor crying and told my husband I was quitting, it was over. And he was like, we are not going to let this stop you from achieving your dreams. Like, we're not going to do this right now. Like, get up, stop crying, let's get to work. So that was my first party. And you probably, if you've had a team, you might have already had that happen. But I want to challenge you to keep pushing forward and to let people into your business, because now I have a saying, like, we're going to love you as much on the way in as we do on the way out. I mean that with every single fiber of my being. And I try to live that out every day, because like literally the Lord's opened my eyes. Like, it's not about me. It's about people's lives and seasons. And some seasons they have more to give and some seasons they have less to give. And so I've just really been challenging myself over the last few years to accept that in and out in that flow, and to embrace it. So the crazy thing is with the abundance and scarcity mindset is I think people look at this list and they're like, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I know you can afford it, Sarah, because you're standing on stage with a 6-figure business, but I can't afford to hand these things off. I've got to keep doing these things. That's a lie. That is a complete lie. And let me tell you why. Because letting these roles, letting these people into my business not only gave me freedom and flexibility and time back, but it allowed me to do what only I could do, and to do it with excellence, to do what I love. And these people were more efficient at doing these things in these roles. They were better at doing these things in these roles. And therefore, Chancey Charm continued to grow, and I was able to pay them out of that abundance. So bookkeeping, that was the first thing I handed off, because I literally was losing my mind at tax season. So I started handing off bookkeeping. I have someone who, she goes through all of my books every month and reconciles everything. She sends out invoices. She just does all the things, keeps up with client payments. It's amazing. And come tax season, I'm stress-free because she just hands it all off to my accountant. How amazing. That was more of an investment in my time. But next we have PR. So I work with Published and Pretty, Kristen Green. She is the most amazing human. I'm obsessed with her. And she is one of the reasons why I was able to launch so many locations successfully. It would not have happened without Kristen. She knows her stuff. She understands how to be found online. She understands how to efficiently and effectively get weddings published, get that online exposure. She not only gave me time back and sanity of trying to get my planners published and these new locations off the ground, but she grew our business tenfold. Like, what an investment. What a breath of fresh air. Social media. Kristen actually also did, I handed off social media to her for a season. She ended up focusing back on publications, So then I had another social media gal come on, and that gave me so much time and life back. And our account was growing so quickly with a social media manager that really knew what they were doing. And then finally, having a team mentor and onboarding person. When I was onboarding a ton of planners, I had Elena Balcom help me in this role, and it gave me so much of my time back, but it also allowed our team to grow significantly in just their services. They were able to provide better services because Elena was, quite frankly, better at day of coordination than I was. She had better processes. And she came on and started doing training and helping our team to the point where now, like, no one has questions hardly. She helped me so much, and that investment is tenfold. So I really, really, really want to challenge you guys to write these roles down, make a timeline, and push towards them. I know the first month or two of investing in something like that might be hard, but I believe in you. I believe in you. All right. So the very first step that I took in growing my planner team, we're going to transition now from vendor team behind the scenes to your planner team. So the people who are going to be planning with you and planning for you with your clients is looking for the right people. This is the number one question I get asked by people is, how do you find the right people? So the number one way to find a great fit for your team is your current team. If you have a team that you trust and love and they're doing amazing things, if they have a recommendation, that's a quick hire. In fact, I just brought on a new planner in Virginia named Catherine because 2 planners emailed me about her. I wasn't really going to bring on someone in Virginia, but it was like, dang, I got to bring this girl on. She's amazing. And y'all, I got on a call with that girl and I thought I was going to cry. She is such not only an amazing planner, but amazing human, like on cloud 9, just giddy about that. So if your team has an intern that's doing amazing things, it would be a great addition. That's the kind of ad you want to make. In fact, Skylar, who spoke earlier, she was an intern. She did like 50 weddings with Chancy Charm. And it was a no-brainer to allow her to start leading Houston. And she's obviously done amazing things and continues to push our team in so many great ways. Like, what an incredible, incredible ad. So the other ways that I'll say that you can add team members or find good people, Facebook groups, obviously, that's something I'm actually encouraging in my Facebook group, Learn How to Become a Wedding Planner. Every day, there's people in there joining. We have a connection portal and people join, and you can either join as an experienced planner looking for people or a new planner looking for experience, and people can connect that way. It's an Excel database. It's super fancy / not, but it's getting the job done. And it's connecting planners who want experience and are serious about this. So the last 2 ways that you can find really great people is number 1, LinkedIn. Whenever I was launching a new location, I actually use LinkedIn. If you are familiar with Elena Futcher in Virginia with Lane Stewart Events, found her via LinkedIn. What a find. Like, she's incredible. She's been such an important part of the Chancy Charm team and story and growth. So it's pretty cool that you can go on LinkedIn, run an ad for like $30 and have resumes in your inbox that are incredible. And I do mean incredible because it's a professional platform. So these people are serious. I love that. I have never found someone on LinkedIn that I was like, oh, that was really bad. I feel like LinkedIn is a really great source. Also, social media, making a social media announcement that you're expanding. I think it's like you just need to do it. But I put it on the end here for a reason. It's not my favorite way to find new people. I had more success on LinkedIn and in Facebook groups and team recommendations. That is for sure. My last pro tip for you guys, as you start thinking through running ads and finding new team members, and all of these are low cost, by the way. I'm talking like I spent $30 and found an incredible planner somewhere, is to make sure that you have a landing page. We have on our contact form page on the Chancy Charm site a link for people to apply to be a wedding planner. It actually gives a little bit of an overview about what it's like to be a wedding planner, qualifications. At this point, we only accept new planners who have a minimum of 2 years of experience. So there's a whole page about that and a place for them to inquire and try to apply to be a wedding planner. However, a Google form would work as well. Just make sure you have a landing page for people to apply and to upload their information and their resume rather than getting flooded in your inbox with that. with all these like random, emails from people that are just kind of not uniform. I feel like that's been really a huge win for me as someone who's managing, because sometimes you are thinking about launching a location, you're not sure, you need to kind of file these away, come back to them later, or someone steps away, you need to fill a spot. It's really nice to have it all organized and in one place. So there's my little pro tip on that. So once you build a really great team, the question is, now what? What do you do? How do you create this cohesive client experience with all these planners? So like I said, 15 locations launched, 13 locations still going, 30 plus planners. How in the world, when I have a new planner come on, am I able to help them be a part of the TNC Charm brand without spending a million hours with them? I think that for me, when I started bringing on all these planners, I was really overwhelmed by this. So I started building what became a best practices guide. I think it was like 70 pages of information. So essentially, I operate with independent contractors. I can't say like you have to do this, but I can make suggestions. So the best practices guide was essentially a way for me to say, here are the way I do these things, and these are kind of the best practices that I've seen. And that actually grew and grew and grew because our team would constantly contribute. I don't want to pretend like I know it all. I don't. I am not the best planner in this room. So I was constantly gleaning from my team to add into that. Somebody would, like Skylar would share something, and I'm like, okay, let me take that and put it in the best practices guide, because that's amazing. So it became this really big document with all these best practices in it. And that's actually the information that you can snag now in my Wedding Planner Academy. It's like 10 years of like 50 planners worth of expertise and information. And I just packaged it into the academy. So it's kind of funny. I obviously didn't build that with that intention of having an academy, but it just was at some point like, that makes sense. I should sell that, because I'm not even onboarding that many planners anymore, but I have created this giant resource for wedding planners. So one thing I'll say for me, how I landed at Aisle Planner is that keeping this best practices guide and all of these templates and to-do lists inside Google Docs got crazy fast. So I dove into the world of CRMs. And when I did that, I landed at a CRM that I laugh. It was not pretty at all. And it was a little hard to use, especially for planners. So I actually reached out to this company and said, my team is, we had this feedback, and they were just like, you're not our target client. We don't care. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So when I found Aisle Planner, it was like an answer to prayer. Like, this is a company who gets it. They've created something that's beautiful. We're serving luxury clients. So this is a really great fit with our brand, because it's so beautiful. It's so seamless. And it really was geared towards planners. So I was just overjoyed. By the way, you can email Aisle Planner and they'll actually thoughtfully respond and say, wow, that's great feedback. I was just like, what's happening? My whole team just lost their junk over Aisle Planner. It was so exciting for us. And I think one of the best parts of Aisle Planner is their guides and their how-to videos, and that they've created all of that. So if I have a team member that has a question about Aisle Planner, I'm not having to answer that. I'm like, hey, actually they have, a little portal where you can get all this information and learn things and improve your Aisle Planner skills. And so that's been huge, because the training and the onboarding into that is not on me. And I was able to take my checklist and things inside my best practices guide and put it into Aisle Planner for real-time use with their clients, rather than them having to skim through 90 pages of information on Google Docs. So that's been amazing. We actually use Aisle Planner with all of our clients, day of and month of, and people I know get their panties in a wad about the day of, month of thing. When I say day of, it's month of course, more than that. However, if you want to be found online for brides looking for month of coordination, they don't know that term. They're looking for a day of coordinator. So That's a little free marketing tip there for you. So I call it day of coordination. So day of coordination clients and full planning clients all get access to Aisle Planner. A lot of people are surprised by that because of the cost, but for me, it's worth every penny. And I mean, I'm paying for a lot of Aisle Planner accounts because we have them for each location. And I think it's totally worth it because in our day of coordination, we have a day of coordination checklist and a full planning checklist. In the day of coordination checklist, it's leading the clients through questions as they plan that we need answers to when it comes to handoff. And it makes that handoff so much more stress-free. We can see so much. I don't know if you've ever tried to get information from a day of client, but it can be painful to get the information you need to execute their day. But if you have their Aisle Planner account, you can log in, see all their vendors, see their budget, kind of where they're at. It's just so much information that we're able to snag from them. So that's been incredible. I have other thoughts on that. Full planning clients, they are getting our full planning checklist. The planner is assigning things to them. They're collaborating with the planner in the design portal. And it's just an incredible, vetted, very trusted system and process for them that makes planning with them so much less stressful. In fact, a lot of our planners, they talk right with their clients only in Aisle Planner. So it's all right there. So super, super amazing. We actually, before AP, I feel like it was impossible for me to ensure brand cohesion. So if I had a planner that was planning with me, but stepping away, starting something else, I couldn't guarantee that their documents were going to show that this was a Chancy Charm wedding anymore. But now their Chancy Charm weddings have the Chancy Charm logo on them. When they export a timeline for all the vendors, it says Chancy Charm. It's a cohesive branded experience, and that has been priceless. The final thing I just wanted a little kind of pro tip of, as you start expanding your team and thinking about your use of Aisle Planner, is that I'm able to jump in and look at all of our weddings anytime I want, which means I can actually track average budget, target client information. If one of my planners gets sick, which has happened before, someone can step right in and serve that client with excellence. Like, y'all, it's priceless, the information you can get. In fact, one of my locations, we kept seeing leads that were 30K, 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 30K. This is the early days of this location. And then the budgets at the end would be 90K, 100K, 90K, 100K. So it's like, okay, we need to increase our pricing in that location because this is not, and then also whenever we're showing brides our pricing in that location, we need to show them the average budget for that location. So it's just been really incredible tool to manage my team, manage brand experience, and also learn and grow and market from that platform. So that's been awesome. My little tips that I want to share with you guys on just training new team members is, my apologies. As you're training new team members and you kind of start diving in to all of this, I just want to encourage you that templates are everything. And do not reinvent the wheel. So for me, I have a welcome template, email template that's just like, hey, I'm so excited you're gonna be part of the team. Here's a link to our resource page. So I have a team portal you can see on the screen. I have a team portal, and inside that portal, I have all the links to any kind of best practices information, contacts in the industry, Aisle Planner training. All these things are in this team portal. It's all in one place. It's very cohesive. It flows really well. And so the welcome email is just like, hey, welcome. So excited to have you. By the way, all the information you're going to need is in here to get rolling. And I'm about to email you with your new team email and your Aisle Planner access. It's a very seamless, short, to the point email, getting it done. It's a template now, so I can onboard someone in like 5 minutes because it's all organized. It's a template and it's already in a portal and it's good to go. So my challenge to you as you start thinking about that is that inside my portal, I actually have training from Skylar. She did a training on design blueprint. Well, Skylar sells training. Terica sells training. Irene sells training. There are so many great resources in this industry for training. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't put the pressure on yourself to become a trainer. Purchase these things for new team members. Get access to them for your team. I email Irene, ask her, like, what's the cost for me to get this for my team? Just don't reinvent the wheel. Just try to rely on the things that are already out there, especially in the beginning, because the overwhelm of just having new team members and trying to figure out your processes is so much. In this season, don't reinvent the wheel. Just find a solid guide that you trust, have your team members review it privately, and then ask questions. That's essentially what I do. I'm sending this welcome team email template. I'm having them review everything privately, and then I'm like, come back to me with questions. It makes it so much easier, so much cleaner, so much faster. So that's kind of my little 2 cents on easy onboarding that's kind of done for you, can be done in 5 minutes. And again, just a shout out to Aisle Planner for continuing to make the most incredible videos and team training stuff, because it makes it so much easier for those of us who are onboarding new planners into our system. So my final bit of advice for you guys today, as we kind of start to wrap things up here, is there are 2 things I do to create community and answer questions quickly for our team. Essentially, the idea behind this is to let your team help each other. It's so important, y'all. When I figure these things out, so much sanity returned to my life. So the first thing is we have a monthly team call. There was actually a season where we had a monthly team call and a monthly happy hour, because our monthly team calls, I was doing different trainings. And for a while, you might have a season where for your team, you need to be doing trainings during the monthly team call, and the monthly happy hour can just be time to connect and talk about life, get to know each other because you're working virtually. So having team calls over Zoom just for an hour where you can connect kind of face to face with people, that's been huge for creating community, allowing me to train people. I record them, I send them out to the team that couldn't come. So that's been pretty huge for that. But I think the biggest thing that's made the biggest impact is that we have a Slack channel. GroupMe is another way to do this. Having a Facebook page is another way to do this, a private Facebook page. But anyways, it's a private channel where my planners can get on and they can talk with each other. So they can share life updates or they can ask questions. And when they ask a question for their clients, they have the power of the entire team behind them, the brain power of the entire team behind them. And what it did was it stopped the bottleneck that was happening in my email inbox, where people were asking me a million questions and often the same questions. It's like, no, one person's going to ask this question on Slack. I'm going to answer it. I might add it to my best practices guide. I mean, this is how kind of things grew. But it also allowed other planners to answer people's questions too, if I was, out with my son and not able to answer questions. So that's been pretty huge, that I didn't have to answer every single question over the last 10 years. That my team started answering questions for each other was priceless. A little plug inside my mastermind, my latest resource, ironically, is actually onboarding for new planners, where I talk about my systems. I give that welcome email template. I talk about what we require, what we provide, all these kind of different things for growing your team. And so that's been really fun. It was such a need in my mastermind. Inside my mastermind, there's a lot of planners who are like adamantly growing in their business and their team. And so they had all of these questions, and I was like, I have a checklist for this. I should just like make this into a PDF for you guys. So that's been really fun. If you are interested in continuing to launch your business, grow your business, whatever, obviously, my mastermind is a really great place to do that. For those of you who are watching this video inside the mastermind, I'm so glad you came. I'm so glad you watched this video. I'm so glad you're inside the mastermind with me. Obviously, I'm prepping for Wedding MBA and doing all the things. I really hope that today's information inspired you to build a team, to share your dream, to build a career that you love, and have life balance and flexibility, not only for yourself, but for your team. And I just really appreciate you taking the time to join me.